Hey everyone, welcome to the channel. Today we're going to be taking a look at a game called Nine Kings that's recently gone into early access on Steam. The devs call this a roguelike kingdom builder, but it's basically, I guess, a wave defense game where you kind of build up a little town and you have different cards which represent different units that you place on the battlefield. So yeah, let's take a quick look at this. When you first start the game, you'll only have King Nothing. You need to unlock the others by completing runs with that king to start with. And after each run, you'll get a certain amount of XP and it'll kind of unlock the other kings as you go along. So these are the cards this king can actually start with. Now you'll start with a random set of 3, I believe it is. We'll see in a minute. And then each round when you defeat an enemy, you'll get a random set of their cards to select. Every time you level up your king during a playthrough, you'll get a perk point to spend. So this is the roguelike side of things. So you get to improve your guy as you go along. And then you have the difficulty levels at the bottom. As you can see, I've completed Peasant, but there's a few others to unlock as well. And the more you do, the more you unlock. And yeah, the harder and harder it gets. I've not really jumped into the story of this, but you basically at war with a set of 3 kings to start with. And you'll get different choices during the game that allow you to make peace or basically go to war with another king. We'll see that during the game. Very first thing you got to do is put down your castle. Each king has a different type of castle that does something different. And then you'll get your 3 cards you can choose to place down, basically. You start with 9 slots unlocked on the map, so you can place a card down on each of the slots. If you got a duplicate card, you can place that duplicate card on top of, say, my castle, and it would level that up. Once you place the card, the battle will start. Now, as you can see here, I'm firing basically boulders out of my castle. This king has a catapult in the castle, so you can fire these boulders. And you can level that up and get it better as you go along as well. And when you defeat an enemy, you basically get to select 3 cards from their deck. So as you can see, these are different from the ones I could have chosen at the start. They're basically 3 different card types. You get buildings, you get buffs, and then you get the unit types. Now obviously the buildings usually give a bonus to adjacent troops, and the buffs will give like a direct bonus to the troop you put the card on. We'll see some of the building effects in a bit. And I placed a scout tower for that fight, and that just fires arrows at the enemy. Here I've got a farm. I'll go with the farm because it's quite a strong one to have, really, because it adds an extra troop each round to one of the adjacent squares. At level 1 it can only do 1 square. Once you level a farm up, you can actually get up to doing 3 squares, I believe. If we look at the top of the screen, you got each year. So every battle is basically a year in the game world. And they have different events. This time is a royal decree. You get to choose a buff, or you can unlock additional slots for your town so you can build in additional places. Yes, these can be very powerful. So it's definitely worth choosing the right one. Having extra slots is pretty good because it allows you to put down extra troops and extra buildings. And here I put down some wizards. Now wizards are really high damage, but they're really slow at firing and pretty weak. So it's at the moment I'm fully ranged. I got no melee combat, so it can be quite a weakness for me if they got any fast moving troops. And now I get to put some melee guys down, so my melee guys can rush forward and kind of engage their guys and stop them getting to the back. Now the game starts off very easy, just to introduce you to it really, I suppose. But it does get harder and harder the further you go. And you get different difficulty levels, and yeah, it gets a lot harder. This is another event called a Blessing. This is a random bonus you get. So this will double the damage on any troop that I have in the flashing square at a certain time in the game. So if I got someone there, when that event triggers, he'll get double damage. So another event I wanted to show was the Merchant. Basically, you get to spend gold on some cards of your choice. You get gold each round, and you can get some buffs that allow you to get extra gold, depending on what you do in the game. But I go with a couple of decent cards here. Basically one that adds 9 extra units to one of my guys, which is really good. If you can get as many of those as possible, then you can get a really big army. And then that one does basically extra damage when they die. They just blow up. And I also put a healing tower down as well, which allows me to heal my guys as they take damage. It's a tier 2 one at the moment, so the healing's okay. But if you get a couple of them on the field, then you can really keep your troops healed up and just won't take any damage. As you can see on the bottom left, I got my troop number. On the bottom right is theirs. I've lost one guy in that fight. I've jumped towards the end here now. It's just before the boss fight, which we'll see. But as you can see, the armies are a lot bigger. And they've got a hell of a lot of wizards that do a lot of damage, but they're really weak. I kind of rip through them quite easy. Yeah, so we'll get to choose one last card, and then we'll go on to the boss fight. Now, when the boss fight starts, you need to use all your cards. If you can't place them down, then you have to throw them into the well on the left-hand side, and you get some gold back for them. And then the boss start will fight, once all your buildings have buffed everyone. So yeah, as you can see here, you got one big boss guy. And yeah, they were quite a hard fight, because those ballistas basically at the back do a ton of damage to my troops and took out half of my archers just in one go, basically. But luckily the rest of my troops are pretty solid, and they managed to survive. But it can very easily go wrong if you encounter the wrong type of troops. So you can see the boss's health in the middle of the screen at the bottom. So once you've killed all the troops and killed him as well, basically that's it. The game is finished, which we'll see in a minute. Yeah, you can continue, like I said. If you do, it's basically experimental mode. They tell you that, hey, you know, we're still working on this mode. It's not fully finished, and it gets very, very hard. But you just got to try and survive. But obviously, you still get to see all the stuff, all the stats you've done, and if you level up or not. Yeah, that's how it goes, really. So you kind of build up on the difficulty levels and unlock different kings. And yeah, that's the game, but it's kind of addictive. I will quickly show what it's like starting with a different king now, and I'll show what it's like starting and a boss fight for it as well. Now, I like this King of Blood guy. He's pretty cool. Kind of relies heavily on resurrecting troops, and his castle, instead of firing a catapult, you spawn imps. And you can spawn more and more of those imps the further you get into the game. And some of the decrees basically double the amount you can drop down. So it makes it very interesting. The imps are pretty weak, but it's still a lot of fun. So again, you start, you place your castle down, and you put some troops down. I had a perk with this guy that made me start with 4 cards instead of 3. And here you can see me placing the imps down, the white ones. And that's instead of firing a catapult, like the last castle we've seen. And I was lucky enough to fight a guy that gave me a farm to start with, which is, like I said, one of my favourite cards. But we'll jump forward here now to the boss fight, just to show you what the kind of built-up city is like with these guys. Also just wanted to point out as well as if all your troops do die, and the enemies get through and hit your castle, you lose a life. Behind the castle, kind of in the top left of the screen now, there's 3 little statues. So every time the troops get through, they kill one of those statues. But yeah, on the left-hand side, you get to see how many imps I could put down if I wanted to. Now, I haven't bothered yet because my army's doing pretty well. And you can see his guys are melting away, and so is the boss. But yeah, I mean, I could put down these extra 40 troops, and tell you the truth, I usually do anyway. So yeah, guys, that is 9 Kings. It's a cool, fun little indie game. Pretty addictive, to tell you the truth. I've spent a lot of hours on this already, trying to build different towns and so on. But yeah, honestly, you should check out some of the other YouTube videos out there. People can spend so much time trying to build a perfect build and get as far as they can in it. Yeah, just a lot of fun, like I said. And it's pretty cheap as well. It's not silly expensive. So, again, it's early access. So if you don't like that kind of thing, then hold off until it's finished. But otherwise, I think this one is definitely worth a look. And even if it's something you just jump into if you got like a spare 10 minutes to waste or something like that. Yeah, it's one of those games. Well, thanks for watching, everyone. If you like this and you want to see more, please like and subscribe. It helps with YouTube. It just pushes the video to more people. I'll be trying to release a video once or twice a week, basically just working through my Steam library. So yeah, I'll see you in the next one.